Hi. So last time we talked about tasks, right? Today something related, quite related. So as you can see in the task, also we have the label API, label controller. For task or for node for transaction, you can actually set labels. Uh, Let me try to find it here. You can do a put on the label. So let's first thing first. Let's bring up the container, right? So if we need to bring up the backend container, which is Spring Boot. Okay, so let's first have a visual look at how the UI looks like here. If I refresh the page, I think the database is still booting up. It takes some time for the database to boot up, so I'll try to refresh again. Now we have here everything. Okay, so the label page. So in the label page, you can try to create any random label, like say here label one. Okay, any label. Okay, so now you create a label, right? And let's say you can create a label two here. Okay, you need to select the icon here. Let's say. Okay, now you have label two, and you can search by the label, and then you can search by label one and label two, for example, or you can remove some of them. So you can click search for it. So the UX is right now not fully ready. That's the UI, right? Today we're gonna do is we're gonna test our API. So what we want to do is first we want to create a label, right? We want to be able to do the first thing first. We can create a label in the API test, not in the UX. So last time we talked about create tasks, right? And after so we first want to do something called create labels. Create labels, right? Okay, so after that we want to attach a label to the task. Like here, we want to put the task for the label. Okay, so let's go back. So now we want to create this method because we don't have it. So okay, so let's define a private method. We want to return a list of labels. So later we can use it. Label. Okay, so we call it create labels. So now how do we create the labels? Right. Look at it here. If we go to the label controller, here is a post to create a label, right? Okay, sounds good. So also we want to return a list of label as a result, right? So we want to create a variable called labels. Okay, so here we're gonna create a using the REST API call. How do we do that? We try to copy some. Let's see. Let's copy this for example. We'll copy it over and change it, right? When you code, and sometimes it's most copy and pasting, right? Okay, so here, let's first copy this, but this is not exactly what we want. We want to use the create a label param, right? So also we change it to, okay, create a label param. We want to do it several times, so we gotta use a for loop. So what we have is create a label param, and here it's let's look at this, what is create a label param. So you take two parameters. One is this icon, one is the string value, right? So let's call it int I. Let's create like a 5 label. Okay, so we're gonna use a for loop to create a 5 label. Okay, let's see. We need the change the parameter to be let's call it label. Let's just give a string name. Give it label 1, 2 or something, and we're gonna give like a icon, just a string here for now. So now here we want to use the label controller, right? Label controller. Label controller. Okay, now what route do we want? We want to create a label, so we're gonna use the labels route. Here, labels route. It's gonna be a post. Also, the entity, the body would be the create label, right? And here, we don't have other parameter to take, so we want to return So let's see. This one will return a label class. And that's it. We don't have other thing we need to put. So we don't need a project because this is outside the project. So we're gonna return a label class. This should be label. Okay. So this is the response. And okay, here in the end we're gonna return labels. Okay, so here we got the response, and we want to get the body. We want to first assert the response code is okay. So let's try if we can find anything that's useful. So we have the body. Okay, here this is also not asserting the status. So we should usually we should check the status, like response status is okay, right? So here we want to do the same thing. First, we want to make sure the response the status code is created. Okay. So then when we try to get a body, so this is the label. We can just add to the labels. Add. Okay, let's look at it. Let's run it actually. We put a breakpoint here. We're not gonna put a breakpoint on other place. So we're gonna run it. We will try to create a label. Let's see. So this here is trying to create. We will try to create 5 labels. Each is named label 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, with some icon string. Right. The icon, as you can see here, is something meaningful. But in our test, we're not gonna do that. So here, let's see if it's created. Okay. Now I think now if we look at the labels, we already have 1 label. So that's good enough for now. Then next thing, we're gonna call get labels, right? So this is another kind of response. Let's copy over this. Let's see what we want to do here. So we just called create a label, and also we want to get all the labels, right? Get all the labels. Yeah, it's also labels route. So we just need to change this to be get. Okay, and we don't need any body. And also it return a label array, right? Kind of list. It's kind of like the array. So okay. So let's look at this one. So first we want to assert the response is okay, 200 okay, right? And second thing we want to look at the response dot get body. So this will give us a label array. So it should be 5, right? It should be the same because we created 5. We should be able to get it, right? So let's call it labels. It's a little bit named the same, so we want to change it. But let's call it the labels created. So now we want to make sure the size is 5, right? So let's assert the equal. We can also look at it, right? So we expect it has a size of 5. Length. Okay, let's look at this here. Let's run the test again. It's a little bit slow for the test because it's trying to bring up the whole Spring Boot application and talk to database. So including like setting up connection to the database. So that's why I was saying this is more like integration test. It's testing real against the real database. So when you run this, you need to have your Docker container bring up the PostgreSQL database. Yeah. Okay, now looks like it already passed. We can look at the labels we created. So it is label 4, label 3, label 2, label 1, label 0, and it's in descending order. Yeah, that's about it for today. I think you can try to play with it. Okay, thank you.